We are sure that no judge in this world would be able to give a stay order. We had our field day through. Then secondly came the why only Chinese? I am little allergic to China. That's a different issue. But we use the word, we removed the word China. We imported. Some man mentioned, he said why we should use China. It would also constitute a violation of WTO. It is a country where we are the Asian tigers. 21st century is our century. I said no, we may be Asian tiger, but this year this is their year of that pig year. This is the year of the pig. In any case, so that was one. You know another innovation which we have done? You know Saras cranes? Saras cranes. Saras cranes are absolutely universalized in Gujarat. Cranes, long stilted cranes, you can see any portion of Gujarat. They almost got completely domesticated. They are extinct anywhere else. You know what is the trick we have done? We have said, in any place of the agriculturist, if the Saras crane goes, starts nesting, the agriculturist immediately should tell us, and we will give him a compensation for that 4 square feet or 5 square feet of area which is losing because of his rice or maize or coppice or cotton or castor, whatever he is doing. But we must have. We got a fantastic way of doing vigilance through them, collection of data through them, and we have only to pay 2 kilos of rice. That's the point. So here we are connecting environment, protection, restoration with PPP model of people, and 1 or 2 kilos of rice or maize or any other thing is not a big thing, because in any case we would have had to put so many range forest officers after the crate and they will all fly away. So it is, you see, it's a very difficult combination to see. Now the another thing is that we have also come out with, till now you must have thought of trees being worshipped in the tribal areas. People worship the trees. They don't have any collateral value. AMA building has got a collateral value. But the tribal trees don't have a collateral value. He is not given a loan because of his teak tree. But the teak tree commercial valuation is 1 lakh rupees. If he has got 10, he is able to have a market capitalization or reserve capital accumulation net of 10 lakhs. But not 10 paisa is given. What we did was, we told the bankers that we will give you the certificate when his tree is going to be marked, felled, logged, transported by the forest people. And whenever the auction takes place, the first charge of that thing would be his loan and his interest at the rate of 5%. And you pay that money first to him because his son has to go for studies now, he cannot wait 4 years. His daughter has to get married next year, she is getting overaged. His fellow has to do for capital intensiveness capital assets in his agriculture, which he is not able to do after 4 years. So he is missing the bus. Now what has happened is that the banks agreed to give 50% of the total valuation, which according to me has taken them out of the shadows, out of the tangled web or the clutches of the money lenders. Because the greatest problem in India is not the production, consumption and distribution, but the existence of parasites in the system between you and me, between husband and wife, between the hospital and the patient, between the big bazaar and the retailer, between the farmer in Punjab and the consumer in Bengal. This is the greatest challenge for us to do. It can involve marketing, it can involve any kind of retailing, experimentation, it can deal NGO clubbing, whatever you can call it, but this is an area which is going to remain very live in the years to come. The other area is the health care. The health care is going to be a very critical area, and the allopathic solutions may have not any solutions for the chronic diseases. So some kind of other areas where we would be able to innovate further can be done. For financial innovation, there is no. If anyone asks me, how do you financially innovate? I said, if any person is born outside Ahmedabad, bring him to Ahmedabad, put him in the streets, and he'll be able to innovate. Thank you.
Sir, I'll spare 2 minutes how we have identified the certificate of the trendsetter. We have analyzed in last couple of few months that there are a lot of awards goes to the innovators or those who are the successful entrepreneurs. When we call in a successful entrepreneurs, the parameter is basically the financials. So we thought that this has been already established. So we wanted to identify a couple of people who has never been acknowledged as an innovator or as a successful entrepreneur. But they are in process of changing a trend for others and for themselves. So we have identified approximately 50 different people within Ahmedabad and Gujarat from different field of the life, from IS, IPS to the students and entrepreneurs. And out of 50, there 21 has been shortlisted. Myself, Mr. Padmin Booch and Mr. Tapan Misra, who heads the innovation team in ISRO, we were 3 people who were scrutinizing all those things, and ultimately we have awarded 15 people in today's night. That is for the knowledge of everybody who is the recipient of the awards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sunilji, for that wonderful explanation. Now is the time of the evening that I'm going to throw open this entire forum for a panel discussion. Now the discussion is going to be involving every one of us. First, I want to invite Mr. Padmin Booch on stage, please. We've heard all our dignitaries talk about innovation, and they came from various areas. Mr. Padmin Booch represents GITCO, and everybody knows about GITCO in Ahmedabad, right? So what we're going to be doing is, I'm going to throw open, we have our representatives who are going to be moving around in this hall, and what I would appreciate is that you tell me who is the dignitary that you want to address the question to, and what is the question, and I will coordinate with the dignitaries to ensure that your question gets aptly answered. So I leave it open to the entire public to question any one of these wonderful dignitaries to answer your questions, please. Innovators? Yeah, I see a lot of students and a lot of people who've
Original innovation normally gets diluted with minor changes by somebody else. So that IPR loses the value for the genuine person who has started this. For that, any special benefit as a pioneer IPR?
So who would you like to direct the question to? Which dignitary?
Either of these. Either of these.
So who would like to take this question up? IPR? I think I am not sure. This is not on. Hello. Can you give me that mic, please? Is it on? Yeah, this is for you. Thank
you. Well, first I must say that I am the odd man out. I am not an innovator. So that way I am distinguished, that's all. This is the distinguished panel. When you talk about IPR, I deal in IPR field. I can claim that I know something about IPR. Our Honorable Minister also mentioned that patent is something which comes in the way of invention. And at that time I was talking with Ketan Patel, he was just sitting with me. So there is a point which one can debate. Okay. Leading to your question, how IPR helps, that is what I am assuming that you are asking how IPR will help to an innovator, am I right? For an innovator, how IPR help?
No, the original innovator is going to get any mileage as a original IPR.
Yeah.
If others, they will go on adding something and then that original will get diluted.
Look, let me tell you, as per the, let me talk to you briefly as far as the patent in general, Indian patent law in particular is concerned. Suppose you are an innovator, you have patented your product, okay, you have patented your product. That product cannot be manufactured by anybody else. Okay, that is the fundamental of product patent. Now what happens? Every patent has a life of 20 years. At the end of 20 years, as an innovator or as an innovator company, you may like to modify it to some extent and prolong the patent. You will be having monopoly of that product for 5 or 10 more years. This is called evergreening. Okay, it goes and goes and goes on. Indian Patent Act doesn't allow this. Indian Patent Act says that the modification invention has to be really incremental. It is really to be different. It should not be merely marginal or incremental. Okay, so it is not possible really as far as Indian patent law is concerned that you do small modification and go on increasing your life of the patent. Yeah, that's it.
Here there are two answers to it. One is that if he was a principal thought processor earlier, as you say, he has got an opportunity and right whenever any new idea is being put up in public domain to counterclaim it, to contest it on the ground that he is not mentioned. That is there. Whether it is the WIPO, that is the World Intellectual Property Organization in Geneva, WIPO, or any country-specific thing. But if at all he has never been bothered about his idea, now all of a sudden he has thought of this IPR and other thing, he will have the same fate like Dr. George W. Bush had.
Thank you. Thank you.
Padmin bhai, I would like, as a coordinator, I would like to request that the question should come for the innovation rather than the IPR, because we want here the students, the aspirants are there, so at least more and more education should be given on the innovation side.
And you can relate your question to the everybody has talked about their own background, the kind of work they are doing, the kind of ideas they have, kind of the vision they have got. So I think you can relate to that kind of topic and put forward your question. It could not be a formal question, it could be a kind of thought process from your point of view, and which can be further extrapolated by the distinguished panel here. Yeah, please.
Yes, sir, there's a gentleman there.
Yeah, I would also like to ask a question to Mr. Nanavati. You mentioned about the culture in 3M that, you guys are so focused, and it's like, it's like in your DNA of your company that you have a high tolerance for mistakes or anything that goes wrong, and that provides an environment for your company for innovation to come up, right? Now I came back to India about a year and a half ago, and I had big ideas that I want to do this for Ahmedabad and this for Gujarat, and the first thing that strikes me is the reality of the ground, that in our city there is no tolerance, apna buddu mentality hai. Like, even if I invest 5 minutes of my time into something, how much is it going to pay me? That is the mentality that, I see as a major hindrance for anything that I have to talk to somebody about. Let's do something creative, and they are like, "Chhodna bhi, isko kya milega isme?" So what I want to know, my question to you is, 3M is a 100-year-old company. But what was the tipping point where you guys as a company saw that if this is the culture, this would put us, aside from the rest of the group? What is it that we need to bring forth in our city or in our state that would be like the tipping moment, that would be a culture where people are pro-innovation or pro-creativity rather than, just bringing that dollar every day, every evening to their family. So what is that unidentified thing in our culture?
Here, sir, this is.
Hear me? Yeah, okay. Boy, that's a pretty loaded question. I think, to me, based on my experience, has been that at the end of the day, as the old saying goes, nothing succeeds like success. If you are able to, I know it's, in the initial phases, it's sometimes difficult. In fact, again, this morning when I was talking to some of the gentlemen from GIS this morning, we talked about this short-term horizon that we often have, looking for this quick return. But I think, to me, the issue is, sometimes what happens is we try to get, you have to stay the course. You can get defocused, you can go, you get disheartened, and this comes back to that sort of perseverance and follow through. But I think it's most importantly is to demonstrate some quick, small successes. Don't look for necessarily for that big, massive breakthrough. Now, obviously, I'm not recommending incremental innovation because I believe that's also not the way to go. But I do believe that there need to be milestones. Like we have a process which is milestone driven. So it's not like you have to wait 3 years. What we do is, if you're going to kill an idea, kill it soon. Kill it fast, and move on. Because sometimes what happens is that there's always that you sort of drag it on, and so we have that opportunity that we have a structured process that says, okay, after 30 days come back to me, you come with an idea, I'll give you 50,000 rupees, go and try it out, and then come back and report to me after 30 days how that idea, what happened, and then they say, okay, I was able to prove this, okay, I'll give you another 100,000, go to the next stage. So we adopt a very phased approach rather than try to look for that instant breakthrough that's going to generate. So I think we need to have clear milestones with clear deliverables, with clear metrics, and say, okay, in 30 days I'll prove this, in 90 days I'll prove this, in